Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to a fun little, not like a craft project, but we're being a little crafty today. And I want to do something for all of you small space gardeners out there, people who are in condos, apartments, townhouses, compact spaces, maybe even those of you who are just simply aging in place and it's too hard to get down in the dirt all the time. I want to do a little something for you. This could also be a really lovely gift for someone special in your life as well. We are going to do beautiful, edible, yet ornamental containers today. Now, this is something I really feel passionate about. As you know, I'm a landscape designer, so my spaces, I love them to feel beautiful. I don't want them to just be functional. I want them to be beautiful. Vice versa, I don't want them to just be beautiful. I want them to be functional. I want them to just work for the people that I'm designing things for. So I have two different containers I'm going to be doing. These are both containers from Crescent Gardens. This is not a sponsored video, but I do know Barb from Crescent Gardens, Barb and Paula. I met them at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, and they did give these containers to me when the show wrapped, which was insanely generous. So that having been said, these are super lightweight, so they're easy to put on a patio, a balcony, and also if you're giving these as a gift, you can easily carry this to the person you're giving it to. Oh, these are also self-watering, which is kind of nice because I find that sometimes watering is the hardest part of keeping a container. There is a drain hole here on the side that you can plug up, and then of course you can also empty out. It's really easy. You literally can either put your water in here with a watering can or a hose, and then this cool little contraption, it is weighted and there's like a little blue weight in here and it floats to the top when you're full and then sinks back down when you are out of juice. Okay. That having been said, I want to dive into the theme of each of these containers. So starting with this one, whenever I do an edible container, I want it to not only be beautiful, but I want my flavors to work together because above all, beauty and function. So we're going to start with our kind of tall back moment. I'm going to design this container as if this is the wall that it is resting against. So I'm going to start with two tall pieces in the back. This is a green shiso and a red shiso. I love that we're just starting with beautiful, beautiful texture. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these right in the back. And you're also going to notice that I have started off this edible container filling it up with a good organic potting soil. Again, really, really important. I always use organic elements when I am working with food, things that I'm going to be eating. Okay, that already is setting the foundation. Okay, next thing, I know these are going to get about this big, and I want kind of like a cool middle point here. So I'm going to bring in with my perilla, and by the way, this is perilla, also known as shiso. It's a very kind of popular element in a lot of Asian cuisines. And so I'm going to partner that with a basil. This is not just any basil. This is one of my favorites. It is a Thai basil called Siam Queen. And one of the other reasons I'm choosing this, besides the fact that it actually goes with the cuisine that I'm theming this around, is it has a beautiful purple in the middle. So you're gonna see, I've got the purple of the purple shiso, I've got the stem, the green leaf matches this little green shiso over here. So really, really good element to tie in my color story. Okay, so super cute. All right, next, I want something floral. I want this to be pretty. So I am gonna pull in two little violas. Now, violas, depending on what variety, you are gonna wanna Google this. You can eat violas. Now these ones I have double and triple checked. This is a viola called Raspberry Sorbet, and it is an edible flower. And this is kind of, well, I'm not gonna like pick up a whole bunch of these and eat a handful. This is a beautiful garnish on top of a pastry, a salad. I mean, talk about like you eat with your eyes first. It is just a gorgeous little element. Oh, you could even put this in like a beautiful glass of lemonade. It'd be gorgeous. Okay. Oh, and you know the other thing about this? I'm looking at the colors, right? So this raspberry has the same tonality as my perilla leaf and the same tonality as this stem in the Thai basil. Okay, next, I want to bring in something really fun, and this is where scent also is super duper important. I am going to bring in this gorgeous, gorgeous, lovely, cannot even handle it, scented geranium. This is scented geranium quercifolium. Okay, it has these beautiful oak leaves, and when I picked this up originally and smelled it, it had this kind of like a barely there hint of lemon and an herby quality that I couldn't quite put my finger on. And when I was doing some research online, a lot of people compared this to the scent of a cedar. And in any event, what you're also going to notice here is I'm again marrying all of these colors together with this sweet little scented geranium. And this isn't necessarily going to be something that they're going to eat, but it's beautiful. And it is going to go towards the overall scent and aesthetic of what we're trying to achieve here. All right, and just for balance, I'm going to put one on the other side. And geranium, by the way, is not a poisonous element to people or pets. So there you go. Okay, and one last little element that I thought might be kind of fun to tuck in here and there for some texture is I have some leftover onions from my planting project up here. This is a sweet little onion called Purplette, and it will grow into a teeny tiny little golf ball size bulb. And I thought, you know, one thing I'm missing from this particular arrangement is a wee bit of texture. So what I thought I might do is put maybe like 4 or 5. Yeah, let's do 4 or 5 on each side. Because I think it might be fun just to have a little bit of strappiness coming out the back here. And the person that you are giving this to, or if this indeed is going in your garden or your patio, you can eat these as a little green onion. You can eat them pretty much at any stage in the game. And these aren't going to provide a whole lot of competition for anything else going on in here because they'll be quick. You'll probably be munching on these before everything else fills in. Okay, so there we are, our first ornamental container. Just a lovely combination, really leaning into those beautiful saturated mid-tone greens and pulling in a lot of like raspberry purpley tones to marry it all together. A little bit of texture, and this is something that the person who owns this, receives this, if this is going in your garden, you can just immediately start enjoying. Before we jump on to the next, I wanted to mention one last little thing. I have saved all of the plant tags for this container. So if you are giving this as a gift to someone, or you simply want to remember what you've planted, you can just pile them all together, tuck them down in the back there. Okay, moving on to this next container. I wanted to do a very different flavor profile. This is almost like pizza in a garden. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do a couple of really fun things. This first one, this is a goodie that I got at the Seattle Tilth May Edible Plant Sale. This one is a Brandy Dwarf tomato. From what I understand, she is gonna get about 2 feet by 2 feet and just be heavy laden with fruit, which I am very excited. And for this one, I am going to place this tomato, gosh, right about dead center in our little pot here. And typically you can plant tomatoes a little bit deep. You can plant them up on their stem. Because this is a dwarf, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna plant it even with the top of my soil. The next thing I wanna bring in is I wanna bring in some herbs. And so the herbs that I have selected for this container, I'm just gonna bring all of these little bad boys up here. I'm kind of continuing with this little Italian theme that I've got going on here. I have some English thyme. I have some golden oregano. I thought the gold would really pop in this arrangement. And then I have 2 different basils that I'm gonna plant kind of back here because the basils may actually get bigger or as big as the tomato. So over here I have Genovese, which is just such a beautiful, beautiful basil, great for pesto, great for just sliced with some tomatoes. And then I have amethyst because I think it's really visually appealing. Oh, actually, I think I'm gonna do them like this. Okay, I know this is weird and a little nitpicky, but I did have them like this. But what you're gonna notice is this is green on green, and then I have this striking chartreuse with this purple. I'm gonna bust it up. So at least I have striking elements opposite each other, green elements up across from each other. So let's next get these little guys in the ground. And these are still kind of new babies, so there's not a lot of root system to break up back here. Alrighty. Now, this container, she was feeling a little plain to me. And so I wanted to bring in something that just adds a little fun. It adds a little whimsy. It adds some great color. This is a beautiful big square, and all of these elements will get a little bit taller, so I wanted something drapey. So I am pulling in this cute little flower here. All right, so this is a very, very sweet Calibrachoa. It is called Bumblebee Orange, and I love it. And it also kind of reminds me of pizza because it is red and orange and yellow. And I think it is the perfect touch. Now, for those of you out here who are wondering, Calibrachoa is not something you're gonna eat. Now, I know that, and I'm educating you about that right now. I feel like I always need to do a PSA, like, do your own research before you put anything in your mouth. So with this Calibrachoa, she is not poisonous. She might give you a little bit of a stomach upset if you're gonna eat it, but this is not for eating. This is for enjoying with your eyes. So for me, I love to mix flowers in with my arrangements because I think it really looks good. And so I know I'm not gonna be eating this. This is just for good looks only. She's just to make this little arrangement come to life, because I can just imagine all of my edibles coming up and then this spilling over all the edges. I think it's gonna be absolutely gorgeous. So there you have it. We've got two little arrangements all done. This took a matter of minutes. We have our more Asian-inspired cuisine over here. We have a little bit more of that Italian flavor coming through here, a little bit of a pizza container, if you will. And I wanted to show you a couple of different things that if you have a bigger container, you might want to try. Or if you have different tastes and aesthetics, you might want to sub in a few of these things. One item that I played with putting in a container is an alpine strawberry. These are so sweet, and they're just a beautiful texture. You're not gonna wanna put them in with a tomato, but you could put them in with just about anything else. I mean, I honestly, you could even put them in a container like this. That would be so gorgeous. Another thing that I thought would be super duper fun in a container is lemongrass. Now, lemongrass for me, I know that I'm gonna put this in a container, and if I put it in a part sun location, I kind of stunt it a little bit. And this is actually super beautiful and blousy. And this I actually played with putting in this container with the shiso, but I was like, oh, this thing is gonna get so packed if I add in a huge kind of like thriller moment like this. So another thing that I thought would be kind of fun in here, I even thought, you know, I could easily take out one of these basils and add in a bunch of chives in the back. That would be so fun. That would be absolutely delicious as well. So in any event, you have lots of different options to play with. You could do this so many different ways. You could have them cocktail themed. You could do it by cuisines. I think overall, it's a beautiful thing to have on your patio. It's a beautiful thing to give as a gift. And I hope you have enjoyed our little project today. All right, friends, I'm gonna go ahead. Last step is fill this sucker up. You probably want to put this in place before you fill it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it for you so you can see how that works. Basically, you just remove this little cover here. This is where your true drop system will kind of notify you that it is filled with water, because this little blue guy will pop to the surface. And this, funny enough, how awesome is that, fits my hose perfectly. And I've already plugged the drain hole. It comes with a little tiny plug. Whoop. Oh! So since I'm newer to these containers, I am going to water everything in just once to settle the soil and prevent any transplant shock that may occur. But once these are kind of settled in, the reservoir should be all you need to water these plants throughout the growing season. What's also amazing is that you can premix fertilizer in a watering can and fill it directly into the reservoir and feed your plants from there. How cool is that? Okay, so the outer ring goes up first, and then that little middle ring goes up next, and that's how you know you're up to the tippy top. Ooh! Cool, cool! I'm gonna go ahead and leave links to these planters down in the description below, along with the recipes I've used for each one of these containers. Thank you so much for watching, and say hello to your garden for me. I'll see you in the next one.